Hello everyone, welcome back to Fresh and Racing here for another highlight stream of race 4 of round 3 of our Club Sprint Race Championship. These are the Lotus 25s in this race. We've seen race 1, the GT5s, negotiate a very wet Sakito sprint circuit, which could be against a very interesting race. We then saw the Lotus Formula Rookies. My apologies. Formula Rookies were in round 2 in a dry mid-morning race into the M1 Pro Cars, where the rain came down very lightly, but enough to settle the grid and settle some of the drivers, which gave us a very contrasting grid race. This is the 4th race. We're coming into the evening now. The clouds and the rain have cleared, and then we do get to drive these very fantastic cars around what is going to be 8 laps of this Keto sprint circuit. You see the detail in these cars is something we could all appreciate as pretend amateur racing drivers for sure. Let's have a look at the championship standings, or at least talk through the championship standings as they are so far. After 2 rounds, it is Ambient Stub and Sam Thumbfinger who share the spoils for the top position in the Lotus 25 Challenge Championship. They both share 30 points. Inter All Sorts is only 1 point behind though, he's on 29. Nathbit is in P3 with 24 points. Mikey and Kingy share the rest of the spoils with 23. Lord of Lincoln not with us today, he's using one of his drop rounds. This is something we have in place for our drivers, so in our 10 round calendar, drivers are able to drop 2 of the rounds, so if they're not able to make it or they have a bit of a bad weekend, then those points can be dropped. So we'll be making sure the points only count for 8 of the 10 rounds. Let's see what our random grid makes for us here for this race 4. And actually we have Takiwi in that green number 1 livery. He takes the pole position. It's the second time for this round we've had a newcomer take the pole position. Our championship leader Ambient Stub, he sits second on the grid on the front row. He's going to want to try and get a clear drive away best he can, but he does have 8 Ball behind. 8 Ball is relatively shown to be very quick in practice. Let's see what he can pull through from the second row of the grid. He's alongside Bullen. Bullen's had a fantastic pace so far, but not been able to show in the race. A few incidents here and there in the wet weather and collisions in Formula Rookie, so now we're in something a bit more robust. Let's see what he can show us on the grid. Last time's winner, or last time at least, he's on the podium, if I remember correctly, Kingy. He starts in P5 alongside Carol Baskin, who's in his first round with us here in 4th race. Harry D, we saw him first time out in the M1 Pro Cars in race 3. The footage of that is available to watch on our YouTube channel. Feel free to go and have a look at that when we're done here. It's a fantastic race in the way he took P3 in the end, so we'll see what he can do in these classic Lotus 25s. Wayne's in P8. He's in front of Ollie. Ollie we saw is very quick in these cars in the last couple of rounds. Ice Dude finds himself in P10 with Nathbit down in P11. Jeff Spencer is having a fantastic round so far. He's in P12. The Samsung finger on the controller this time out of some technical difficulties. He's in P13 alongside his teammate Inter All Sorts in P14, and Charlie Goff rounds the grid at P15. Let's see what the 8 laps of Sakita Sprint in the Lotus 25s gave us on last night's race. The cars are off and they're away, and Ambient Stub does get a fantastic drive off the line. Mikey is there to follow. Watch these cars going 3-4 wide into turn 1. It is Ambient Stub though who does get his nose ahead of the rest of the cars. A little bit of a lock up there from one of the drivers, not sure who that was, but it's 8 Ball up into second as one of the advertising boards there goes absolutely flying. I think that's Kingy who's taken out one of the brake markers. But he's now right into 4th, and the Kiwis found himself dropping down the grid. He's in 5th. One of the blue cars there had spun around. Not sure who that was. It could have been Wayne. He's dropping down the order. So he's we're looking at Kiwi there, putting Kingy under pressure, fighting Ollie. As we come into the first of the two right-handers, these cars, 5 abreast going round. That is another car running wide there. That is Nathbit getting himself on the grass. He's not having a good time first lap in this car at the moment. There's another car onto the gravel there. That is one of the black cars. So that is iStude has dropped down the order there. But as we sort of predicted might happen, Ambient Stub very clean off the line. He takes the first, has the privilege of going over the line first. He's ahead of Harry, who's had a really good start. Finds himself up into P2. Kingy's in P3. Ollie is in P4. 8Ball is in P5. Bullen's in P6. And the Kiwi, who's dropped down the grid but seems to have settled, is in P7. Carol Baskin in the blue livery, he's in P8. Sam Thumbfinger is in P9. iStude P10. Wayne is in P11. Jeff Spencer P12. Into All Sorts is coming into the pits. He must have picked up some damage there. As we see Nathbit is wow, that car is all over the shot trying to keep that car on a straight line. It looks like his race is done for sure. He should be coming into the pits for damage. In fact, he's using the escape route there to keep himself away off the racing line. As you can see, there's absolute carnage there. There's a number of cones all over the shot in the background. Something big there is potentially why Inter All Sorts is in the pits for his repairs. Meanwhile, out front is Harry trying to hunt down Ambient Stub. Harry in the white 22 livery, sliding his way around the very tricky right-hander with Kingy for company in P3. Very fast lap last time around for Ambient Stub at a 1:29.0. What can he do at the end of this lap as he comes on to lap 3? It looks like slowdown penalty for the two drivers of Ambient and Harry, because they both pulled off the racing line and allowed Kingy to come through. He takes the lead as it stands. Ambient Stub is in second, and Harry D is in third, jumping on board sort of there with Ambient Stub. Very defensive line being taken by Kingy ahead. The car runs a little bit wide. Ambient has a look on the inside as Kingy leaves him space, but takes a defensive line coming up into left-hander, blocks the route through for Ambient Stub there, no way through, making his car wide as possible. Harry is very, very close behind in P3. He's watching this battle unfold as Ambient Stub takes a contrasting line to Kingy again. Kingy take a defensive line. Harry is just watching here, trying to take advantage. Very, very close. Brakes nice and early. Try and get the run off the exit of the corner. Kingy under an awful lot of pressure from the two guys behind. Takes a defensive line, but Ambient Stub is through. Stub is through, and now Kingy is defending. He wants to keep that P2 if he can, but Harry is really close behind. These cars have very effective slipstream, so we'll see if Harry can use this to his advantage. Can Harry get the move done as we come into turn 1? Kingy goes defensive, not this time around. Ambient Stub breaking away a little bit now. Kingy struggling to keep up with the orange Ambient Stub, who's going to be looking to maximise his points against championship rival Enter All Sorts, who's not having the greatest time at the moment in P13. Apologies. Harry is all over the back of Kingy though. Can Kingy keep Harry behind him for another 4 laps? Halfway through here is a very long time. Even though it's a sprint race, it's going to be a very long race for Kingy. He's got Harry for company for the remainder. Harry poking his nose out, making having a look as the car runs off track there to allow Ambient Stub a way through. Uncontested. We should see the yellow car move out of the way again shortly. Harry has a look on the inside. King is very fair to him, gives him the room as Harry makes a fantastic drive through the final corners and takes P2. He's now free to hunt down Ambient Stub, who's gained 3 seconds on the following drivers in all this chaos. As we come on to lap 5, it is Ambient Stub ahead of Harry in second, Kingy in third, Ollie, who's having a great race, he's in P4. We know he's quick in these Lotus 25s. Mikey having a good race, he's in P5. Bullen, who's keeping it nice and clean, he's taking advantage of a race with no rain and no dramas with other drivers, he's in P6. 8ball's teammate Ice Dude is in P7. Carol Baskin is in P8. Some really good points for Carol Baskin here. Wayne is ahead of Sam Thumbfinger there. Sam Thumbinger's just run a little bit deep on that corner. These cars are definitely one of the trickiest to control on a controller, and Sam is finding that out the hard way. He's down into P10. It is his teammate who is 30 seconds behind after taking damage on lap 1. And one of the championship contenders, in fact, that is Inter All Sorts, who has let Ambient Stub through to be lapped. So that is the two championship leaders in this class are together on track, but a lap behind. Jeff Spencer is in the pits for repairs. Shame for Jeff, he's had a fantastic racing night so far. Some really good results from Jeff, but definitely picked up some damage, and that's why he's in the pits for repairs. Takiwi is also in the pits must be for number of repairs, and Nathbit is good 2 or 3 laps down for massive collisions on the first lap. We wasn't able to get it on camera, but they obviously happened for Nathbit to be 3 minutes behind. Closest battle out on track at the moment, you'll see just having a look here, Ice Dude and 8ball are together on track, 2 teammates. Ice seems to be the quicker of the 2 drivers in these Lotus 25 at the minute. Surprised that Mikey's gone off track a little bit there. He's run the car a little bit wide. It's a rare mistake from 8ball. You see a bit of debris on the track just on the inside there. Is Mikey suffering with a little bit of damage? The car did get a little bit squirrely there, or is he just really struggling with the understeer? Car doesn't seem to want to behave to his liking. He's very slidey in the face. Doesn't seem like he's happy with the car that he's driving. In fact, his teammate has pulled a good 3-second gap after the last few moments. A bit further back we have Sam Thumbfinger, who's regaining control of his car, going very sideways, having a good battle with Wayne. The 2 drivers sharing team in contrasting teams, same in team pedigree, but 2 different teams. Sam racing for the Black Hammer Project and Wayne for Bring Home Points, both BHP teams. As you'd see, the AlphaTauri and Red Bull guys, but very different teams, so no team orders here. Sam is gonna have to get past Wayne the hard way, and Wayne is making the task very hard. Taking a very good defensive line. Sam getting a bit of advantage off track there. We saw Harry make a move there to take P2. Sam was not able to get close enough to Wayne to make that move stick on lap 6 though. Ambient Stub is your race leader. He still has Inter All Sorts behind him, even though he's lap behind you. Looking at the white car behind will be the P2 driver. Ambient Stub comes around. You watch the car leave the ground there for a moment over the crest, as Ambient Stub comes on to lead the last lap of the race. It's Harry in second, Kingy in third, Ollie's in fourth, but he's gone round there. Is that Bullen through? No, it's a lap driver there coming back through. Bullen is closing up though, so it's Ollie in fourth, Bullen in fifth, Ice Dude is sixth, Mikey 8th, 7th, Carol Baskin 8th, Wayne and Sam's battle is 9 and 10. Inter All Sorts, fantastic pace for Inter All Sorts. He's managed to get 15 seconds in the last 3 or so laps on his teammate ahead, but doesn't look like he's going to get much further coming into the last lap. Jeff Spencer is in 12th and Nathbit is in 13th. The Kiwi has retired from the race with just too much damage to be able to continue. As we have a look to find our race leader Ambient Stub there. In fact, I don't think Inter All Sorts will be able to make more time back on his teammate unless Ambient Stub allows the yellow livery behind through. If Ambient Stub lets the yellow car behind, he might be free to try and get a gung-ho lap 10 seconds in the last lap, but I don't think we'll see that happen. Ambient Stub is 5 seconds or so, 4 seconds or so ahead of Harry in second, as Ambient Stub is across the line, and that is another fantastic win from Stub. As we see him, there he is. He takes P1. Harry is in P2. Inter All Sorts there finishes his race. He's going to finish in 11th. Kingy's in 3rd. A good result again for Kingy. Ollie's in 4th. Really good race for Ollie. Bullen is in 5th. Ice Dude will finish 6th with his teammates 8 Ball in 7th, but he is under a lot of pressure there from Carol Baskin in P8. Can Carol put the pressure on? In fact, Carol does on the outside, and that is Carol Baskin takes P7. Can Mikey fight back? 8 Ball, can he fight back on across the line? It's not going to be the case. It should be Carol Baskin who will take P7. Just waiting for the cameras to pick up the cars. Yeah, Carol Baskin does pick P7. Mikey takes P8. Wayne P9. Sam Thumbfinger takes P10, and yeah, good defensive drive there from Wayne, able to keep Sam Finger off long enough for Sam to make an error. Inter also we've seen cross line already. He takes P11. Jeff Spencer is P12, and Nathbit will be P13. See if we could find the lead driver on track. There he is. Ambient Stub takes the win. And let's have a look at where that puts the standings for race 4 in the Vintage G. And Ambient Stub has a 9-point lead now after round 3 over Kingy in second. Kingy and Sam Thumbfinger, in fact, are joint second on 37 points. Inter All Sorts, a good recovery drive from him and to be P11th in the end. He's now 2 points adrift of his teammate on 35. It's then the two full throttle racing boys behind of 8 Ball with 32 points and Ice Dude on 29. Then the bring home points guys, Nathbit and Wayne on 28 and 25. Bullen gets on 24 points and Lord of Lincoln on 19, but this is one of his drop rounds. All these drivers, as mentioned at the start, will have to drop 2 rounds. So we'll see how that goes later on in the championship. If you've enjoyed watching us so far, make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you want to see more of our race highlights. We've got more comprehensive footage of our sprint race championships, our sprint race in our vintage touring car championship, and a couple of our feature races on our YouTube. We race our vintage touring cars on a Sunday night. 7 p.m. BST is generally when the lobbies will start to be opening. We also run a Group A Masters Trophy on a Friday night, and what you've watched so far is the highlights of our Sprint Race Championship Series that happens on a Wednesday night. If you want to check out some more information of our Fresh Sim Racing, be sure to check out the link to the Discord in the description. Other than that, we thank you for joining us for our highlight streams, and we'll hope to see you next time.